Hi, my name is Tiago Duarte and welcome to another video tutorial here at Daily Beats. In today's video, I'm going to do a crash course on SliceX. Before we start, I would like to ask you to subscribe and activate the notifications so that you know when I upload new videos. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment below. Also consider supporting my channel by buying one of my products at dailybeats.pt or become a premium or exclusive member where you will see the full tutorial. Also, if you want to send me your project file, you can do that in the link in the description. So this is SliceX. It's one of my favorite plugins here in FL Studio. It's native from FL Studio, so everyone that has a copy of FL Studio will have this plugin. And it's a very simple plugin, yet very powerful. Here at the top, we have 4 sliders. The main one is for the master level, and we have here a master pitch. These are the ones that I use for the main level and the pitch when I want to change the pitch of the sample that I'm working with. We have here a modulation panel where you can see we can change the x-axis and the y-axis, and here an option for the smoothness. We have here some other panels that I will not go into this because they are more advanced concepts. Here we have 4 buttons where we can disable and enable several panels of the SliceX, and you can see here disable the view of the keyboard, and we can display at full, only without the audio editor, without the option panel, and here the compact one. And if you want, you can just have this header menu here. So I will have it with a full. Then we have here the regions panel, and here is where you can pretty much change everything regarding the panning, volume, cut, resonance, speed, and start. And inside each of these tabs, you will have more tabs where you can change more stuff. And as you can see here, the mod X, mod Y, you will have the modulation here. Let me reset this. And you will be able to change the modulation based on these curves here. And yeah, this can be very powerful and very interesting stuff. Here you have the articulator, and we have panel here for the filter where we can have a low pass, band stop, and a high pass. And here we have the envelope, the cutoff frequency, and the resonance. And as you can see here, we can have it off and 3 times the same effect applied. And on the bottom here we have a couple of options, and we can loop the sample, we can play it, stop it, and we have here a bunch of tools that we can take advantage of. Before we have this area, we have here some other area with some information like the sample rate, the format, the tempo, the title, and a couple of more options here. And then we have here the main wave area. And we will see how to use this one here. Basically is where you do your slices or your markers, and you can manipulate the sounds. And of course we have here the piano roll where each marker will be mapped to a note. I think the best way to show how to work with SliceX is with samples, because I can talk about all the options, but if I don't show them to you, it will not be so easy to understand. So this is I just talked about the general overview of the several areas of the plugin. So now let's load a sample. Let's go here to loops. Let's open DL breaker. This is a general loop that also comes with FL Studio. To load the loop into SliceX, you just drag and drop the loop over the audio area. And as you can see here, now we can see the full loop. If you see the loop here on the top, you will see that it's pretty much the same as it's here. So this is a representation of the loop itself. This is a loop that is provided by FL Studio. We have already some markers, and the markers are already named, which is nice. If you go here to the piano roll, you will see all the notes with the associated name. So here, this one, as I'm clicking here, it's highlighting here. So we have the kick, another kick, snare, hi-hat, snare, hi-hat, snare, and so on. And we can go through all the sounds like that. Very fast or very slow. We can also do it backwards. This is the beautiful part about SliceX, is that after you slice the loop, then you can change the orientation of your loop, whatever you want. If you want to just have a kick and have here a hi-hat, you can have a hi-hat. If you want to have another snare, you can do it. So this is very nice and very easy to change after the loop is created. Okay, so now let's take a look here at what changed when we loaded the sample. Now we can see that we have here, this panel here now shows some information. If I open here, we can see that we have all the markers that were created when we imported the sound, the loop. They are here. So we can select whatever region we want. So let's say I want to select this last snare, which would be this one here. And as you can see, it highlighted here in red, some kind of red. We can also do zoom in, zoom out. We can select the region by double clicking on it, and you see that now I have selected this kick here. If I want to select this snare, I can just double click it and it will select. And as you will see, it will also reflect the name of the selected region. So if I choose this one, it changes to kick. And here is where you can change the values of the kick itself, or this region here that is selected. And you can see here that we can put it on a different channel as we did in the FPC in the previous crash course. It's the similar concept here. We can add some amplification, some panning, some volume. We can add some filtering. We can change the speed, the pitch of only this kick. To play this sample, you can right click on it and it will play. If you right click on a different sample, it will play that sample. So you can go through each sample like you want, like this, just right clicking. And it will also reflect the selection. So if you play this region here, it will select this region, and also it will select this region here. So one thing that we can do just to check out what's going on, we can change the pitch of this one here, for example 700 cents plus. And if we play the sound here in the audio player or audio visualizer, it will not have the effect of this pitch. To have the effect of the pitch, you have to go here to the sample. So this is the sample that is playing, the kick. If I go here and right click on it, now it plays without the pitch. But if I go here to the piano roll, it plays the kick. Okay, so let's lower the pitch. You can have multiple variations of the sounds of the markers and regions that you have in your loop. And you can also again do the panning. For instance, we put the kick on the right or on the left, and we can put the snare on the right, for instance. And if we play it here, you see that this kick, it's on the left and the snare is on the right. So let's reset this, put it to 0, and let's go to the kick also and put this to 0. Okay, so these are the basic things about SliceX. It's manipulating the sounds after that, after you load them. We've just seen that we can select individual regions by right-clicking on them. So what I'm going to do is select this first kick and filter it. So to use this articulator, we can go here to the filter area, and instead of having articulator 1, I'm going to put articulator 2, just because I want to add this low pass filter just to this kick and not to the rest of the loop. And if I go, for instance, to this one, we see that we have articulator 1 selected on everyone. But I want to have just articulator 2 for the first kick, and I want to apply a low pass filter. So let's go and put it here at 3. If I play it here, it has a low pass filter. We can go even lower. And if you want, for instance, to send kick 2 also to that articulator, you can just increase the articulation value here. And now we have both kicks on the articulation with a low pass filter 3 times. Of course, we can change to 1 to have a less dramatic effect, and we can increase the cutoff frequency. And we can do that by changing here the articulation, moving back, and now we have again the original samples. As you can see, it's very easy to add filters to individual regions of your loop. Another thing you can do is to add an envelope. In this case, the envelope will be applied to all the sample and individual to each region. What I mean with this is that, let's say we want to add an envelope to the kick, and we can go here, or let's say we want to reduce the reverb on this drum loop. What we could do is to simply add an envelope here. Actually, not here. Let's go to volume and let's add it here. And now if I play this loop, and if I start changing the envelope, now it will apply to all the regions that I have in my loop. And I can change here the envelope, make it shorter, and you see that it's applying this envelope to the volume. Of course, I can apply envelope to a different thing. For instance, for the panning, let's add this. Now we have our signal just on the right, and if I move this down, we have it on the left. We can create a new point by double clicking like that, and let's go to the volume. And now this is creating this strange effect because I'm moving the panning from right to left or from left to right very fast, and this is creating this type of effect, which is you are seeing the transient I'm listening to the transient on my left side, and on my right side I'm listening to the room of the drums. And you can put whatever envelope, LFO and everything on each parameter here. You can have the cut for the filter, you can have the resonance for the resonance, you can have the pitch, the speed for the pitch, and so on and so forth. And inside of each of these tabs, you will have additional tabs for each category. So let's say volume, we can change the envelope, the LFO, the velocity, mod X, mod Y, and random. And we can have the same thing for the panning, where we can change the envelope, LFO, velocity, mod X, mod Y, and random. As you can see, this can be very, very helpful. It can give you a lot of flexibility and a lot of possibilities on how to change your sounds and manipulate your own sounds. Okay, then we have here some options here, which I'm going through very fast. So we can save, basically this is file input and output, where you can save the file, we can load a new sample, save sample as 24-bit WAV file, you can export regions and so on and so forth. You can also load different sounds that you had here in recent projects. Here you can edit the properties of your file. So instead of using a 32-bit, we can change it to 16 and the channels from stereo to mono. And here it's some cut options where you can do some undo, some cut, clear, disable, so you can edit your sample. This one is very important, which is the wrench tool, where you can see we have some envelope options, some amplification options, and this is basically some of the effects that we can apply to our sample or to our loop that we are here, and even to each region. And we can do declick in, declick out. These are some of the more important. Fade in, fade out. We can also have this one here, which is related to regions, which is the declick in all regions and declick out all regions. This is very important because sometimes when you create a region, it will not line up exactly at 0 crossing. And what happens is that if it's not a 0 crossing, you can hear pops and clicks. and this is not good when you are creating music because it's very distracting, and it can work if you are creating some more lo-fi type of beats, but it can be also very distracting and harmful to your speakers and headphones and also to your ears. So I strongly recommend to use this. And of course, we have here some options for reversing and everything. So I strongly recommend you go through all the options to familiarize yourself with. Here we have some regions menu where you can add regions. You can also do the detection. So let's say you load your sample and the sample was not recognized and the regions were not automatically created. What you can do, you can come here to regions menu, you do auto slice, and you can do dual, medium, and sharp. If, for instance, I do dual, it doesn't change anything. Let's do that again. Okay, it changed some. So as you can see, for instance, here, instead of having two, we just have one. And yeah, it didn't change too much because this is a drum loop which has sharp transients. It's easier for this algorithm to detect these transients and put markers whenever we need. But let's go again now to the medium, and you see now it was added here, and we can even go to the sharp, and the sharp it's going to create even more markers. Also, you can delete markers by right-clicking on them and click on delete, and you can change the name and so on. You have here some options. You can select it like that. You can zoom out, zoom on. You have here some options to deal with markers. I usually just delete them whenever I'm working with samples, and sometimes I don't want a marker there. I just delete them. If I want to create a marker right here, I can just select a region and I go here and I say set marker and I put my marker 1, and it shows here in the beginning of the region that I selected. So you can add and remove the markers as you want. We have here some more options for viewing where we can enable stuff. We can have a spectrum view, a dual view where we have the wave shape and the spectrum. We can have snap to grid options. If you want to have more control over the grid, you can have here some select options and zoom options. And here you have some fade in, fade out, normalize, and this is the undo. As you can see, we have a lot of options in the SliceX. It's a very, very powerful tool. I just scratched the surface with this tutorial, but again, this is just a crash course where you will just get the basic idea of what SliceX is and how it works. And I just point you to the right areas where you can see what are regions and everything, how to manipulate them. And this is basically it. I could go for hours with this plugin doing stuff. And again, most of the things that I've learned with this plugin is just through experimentation. Of course, I also saw some other tutorials and some courses, but it's basically through experimentation when I want to do something and I go about it and try to tweak the sounds to get what I want. And that's very important, I think, when you are making music, especially in these with these plugins. Sometimes it can be very hard to really get a grasp of the plugin in a couple of tutorials or in the first sessions. This can take a lot of years just for you to really understand what this plugin is all about, or the plugins are all about, and really have a strong intuition on how to use things without thinking too much. So this is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this crash course. I hope it was helpful. This is a very powerful plugin. It's simple to use, but it's also very powerful, and we can go talking about it for hours. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this crash course. And if you are new here to this channel, subscribe and activate notifications so that you know when I upload new videos. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment below. Also consider supporting my channel by buying one of my products at dailybeats.pt or become a premium or exclusive member where you'll see my video tutorials in the full length of the tutorial. And you will have the full video, the complete video, to see everything that I do and how I do all my music. My name is Tiago Duarte. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.